I would have ideas in my mind, and I would kind of put it out there and kind of give people what I really wanted to do, maybe eventually. But I never really, I felt that it was easier to say it than do it, right? And there's always, I've heard of your sayings, it's easier said than done, right? And hey everyone, we're back. We're back. Excuses are crazy here, and just want to share real quick. Today I had a quick, if you want to say it, over the weekend revelation on how most of the time in the world that we live in, especially I know myself, I started realizing that we oftentimes, and correct me if I'm wrong, we will have an idea, right, or a, uh, a revelation, let's say, and the first thing we do is we will tell everyone on what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, plan it, strategize it. And I learned for the past couple of years that I would have ideas in my mind, and I would kind of put it out there and kind of give people what I really wanted to do, maybe eventually. But I never really, I felt that it was easier to say it than do it, right? And there's always, I've heard of your sayings, it's easier said than done, right? And I also learned once I started using that bullshit excuse, sorry, BS excuse, that um, it, it wasn't necessarily true, right? Once you start the ball rolling, you start doing it, it becomes easier. The fact that you built your own schedule, strategy, whatever it is you want to do. But everything you start new, what I noticed, everything you start new is difficult in the beginning because you have no roadmap, no contingency plan. Like, you could read 20,000 books, and everybody's journey is different. You can take some tips here and there, but whatever it is that you're trying to do, the way you want to do it, it's something your mold. It's gonna be a first time, right? So it's gonna be has to have its own bumps and rolls along the way. And here, my YouTube channel here, I noticed that I will watch a lot of videos on how to make the perfect YouTube channel, and I learned a lot of tips. I took a lot of notes down and applied it to my process. But at the end of the day, your thinking, your process, your content, whatever it is you want to do, is really coming from you and whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, right? Um, Obviously, the results are there, but if you're not here for results, then it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's about creating something for yourself. And that's what I do it, right? To create something for myself, show my kids, show my future kids, their kids, my grandkids, that if you have something you want to do it, and just make it, create it, right? So that's one step. But I noticed that over the weekend, I also had another idea, and the first thing I did was say to one of my friends, like, "This is what I'm gonna do." I took down the steps. I built my own timeline in my head. I built down my own little checklist, um, and the the resistance was, it's gonna suck. It's not gonna work out. It's too much work. Um, it's not enough. It won't ever get that, whatever it is you're trying to get. But I noticed that in every, and then of course, as usual, the watch goes off during my videos. Let it be. But um, in every endeavor that I want to start, anything new that I haven't done, that I really want to try, there's a lot of resistance. And this is coming from the book that I was reading by The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And he mentions that in everything in this book, the resistance. And I'm noticing it as you do more, you act and you take control in your ideas, right? We all have ideas, different ideas, but the resistance is true. It's a real thing, right? Whether it's afraid of judgment of others, whether it's afraid of failing, whether it's not having the right stuff, the right content, the right equipment, all these things are there to hold us back from accomplishing whatever it is we think for ourselves as an accomplishment. So I wanted to just share these videos here and remind us, all of us, that it's gonna be there. The resistance is gonna be there. There's gonna be this outside force, whatever you want to call it, even internal forces, keeping us from acting on our ideas. And whether you get fame, whether you get monetary compensation, whether you get deals, whatever it is that you're trying to get, at the end of the day, if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. For me, personally, I think for anybody, the goal is to act against the resistance. Do it for yourself. Put out that content, whatever it is you're trying to do. Do it. And don't say anything about it. Just do it. And watch how accomplished you feel. It's the minorest thing I would say. Well, nobody knows about it, nobody cares for it. But the fact that you did, and you went against what you felt was holding you back. And again, this is coming from a person I feel like I'm not really trying to be in the limelight or the fame, but you don't do it for that. It's an idea you have, right? And I want us to understand that it's not just because you act upon something, you feel like you want to do it. It's not because you're trying to accumulate or you're trying to create some type of success or wealth. It's just for the fact that you're creating something, like a blank canvas, right? A blank canvas, sorry. You just have a blank canvas in front of you, and you create a piece of art. Might never go to the Museum of Art, might never get the notoriety, but it's yours. It's your baby, and we have in the world we could build a lot of babies, right? Or we could make a lot of babies, both physically and mentally. And these are your mental babies, right? So I really wanted to share, again, I'm repeating myself, but I really want to share that whenever you have ideas and the first thing that comes up are all the opposing ideas against it, or reinforcements that it's not going to work out, that you shouldn't do it, it is even a bigger I would say it's a bigger hurry for you to do it, because it's something that you're going against your own mind, right? And the mind that's probably been sitting in you where you've been. You probably have countless amount of ideas. You probably have had countless amount of action calls to yourself, to your soul, and you always held back. And this is speaking from a guy from experience. I've always felt, I've always acted upon my ideas years later. Always had this procrastination, not only for that, obviously in life as well, but procrastinating on my own ideas because of the fear of failure, the fear of not being enough. And it's something that we all deal with, all of us struggle with. And I hope if you watch this video, if you come across this video, it gives you a message and a sign that it's okay. One, it's okay to have that feeling. And two, it's also okay to act upon it and not trust those opposing forces within. And I hope it works. I hope you do it. I hope you have some type of awakening, because if not, we would never see the true of everyone here, the true essence, what you're here to do. It's already inside of us. We need to act upon it, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Peace.